Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Here in Lancaster, it's a really drowsy morning. It's really rainy outside. It was raining earlier quite a bit, it looks like. And, you know, I got to thinking a lot today about what is the difference between businesses and brands that go on to make it and brands that really struggle for a long time. And I think back to what Russell Brunson talked about so much in Expert Secrets and in .com Secrets and the One Funnel Away Challenge and all the other trainings and material that he puts out. And I've studied Russell for a long time because he is a master of branding, of storytelling, and how to take someone who's never heard of your business and brand before and turn them into a paying customer over time. Now, he has a full series and sequence on how to do so, but what I've discovered is, yes, you can have your funnel, you can have your advertisement, but if you don't understand your hook, your story, and your offer, none of that really matters. And one of the things that, especially in the One Funnel Away challenge that I went through, that Russell emphasizes and talks about is how do you not only understand your hook and your story before you even get to your offer, but how do you know that it resonates with your target audience? And for this example, he goes on and talks about comedians, how so many comedians, before they're big and they're famous, they spend years perfecting their spill, if you will. They perfect their act. So they go to these little dive bars, they go to these community events, and they go to these other places, and they just test out material. And for weeks, months, and sometimes even years, these comedians will see no traction. They will see no success. And what they're doing, it's not exactly a complete failure because they're testing out what works. And yes, they are failing, but there's a difference between failure and complete failure. Complete failure is when you give up and when you stop. It's okay to fail and keep pushing and keep going and keep testing. But what these comedians do is they analyze, okay, what does my target audience want? How do I present it to them effectively? And what gets them excited? What gets them what they really came for, which is to be entertained. And so Russell, what he did when building out his ClickFunnels and .com Secrets brand is he started taking his material, just like these comedians did, and he started testing it. He started different hooks into his story and saying, okay, so I've got my core story here. What are different angles that I could use to push it? And then he found which ones really resonated with his brand and his target audience. And then over the course of several years, and you can see this going through the Marketing in Your Car podcast, which is one of the ways that he tested out his story and his different hooks. He would talk about funnels and ads and positioning and branding. And over the course of several years, he learned exactly what his target audience wanted. He learned which hooks were the most persuasive. He learned which portions of his story really resonated the best, and he learned what structures of that story performed the best, which he eventually went on to call the Epiphany Bridge sequence. It's a specific way in which you can craft your story for the maximum efficiency. So part of his success that drove him to where he is yes, he had the funnels and the ads and the sequences in place, but a lot of it is just practicing his story and his hooks over and over and over again. And that involves a lot of failure. That involves a lot of vulnerability, because when you're going live, like I am right now, you're prone to messing up. You're prone to telling things wrong. Like, even I can just tell you a couple of minutes ago towards the beginning of this live, I'm like, where am I going with this? That's okay. It's okay to fail, and I am not afraid to fail in front of you. I am not afraid to get it wrong, because I know that eventually I'm going to find the one way that gets it right. And when I find that way that gets it right, that's going to make up for all of the failures that I've had in the past. So I can use the advertising example here. When you're creating advertisements, Facebook ads, YouTube, Google, doesn't matter. all you're doing is creating a hook, a story, and an offer. That's all an ad really is. That's all any advertising sequence turns out to be. So if you can find a story and a sequence that works really well for your target audience, and you understand the right hook and positioning, and you've got a really strong offer, your advertisement's going to win. That's all it boils down to. And people like Russell Brunson and Alex Becker and Grant Cardone, they understand that. So they're okay if they go put out 100 advertisements and only 3 win, because they realize that within those advertisements, they've got a winning hook story offer. And because of that, they're able to change it up. They're able to just create variations on a theme with that same hook story offer. And they're able to grow a big business because of it. That's ultimately how every big business is built, off of a strong hook story and offer. So that's how Russell was able to take ClickFunnels and his .com Secrets brand and his coaching from just being this small little micro community to being this massive marketing juggernaut that we have today. So guys, thank you so much. Watch this replay, because this is something that really took me a while to learn. And now that I understand it, I'm able to create highly effective advertisements that bring a lot more return on investment to both myself and my clients. And if you can master creating the right hook, story, and offer sequence, you'll do very well with yourself. But just remember, it doesn't happen overnight and requires a lot of testing. That's why anytime I get a new client, I say, look, guys, we're going to have to figure out what is your hook, what is your story, and what is the right offer for this audience. And until we get that, we're going to struggle to get results. And sometimes it happens within the first week, and sometimes it doesn't happen for 2 or 3 months, but that's okay. Because once we get that right combination, it makes up for all the other advertisements tenfold. So thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.